Goodbye to the guy I used to be.
Are you just testing those, or are we?
Testicles. Are we in?
I love how you guys ask that every time.
Thanks for the warning, man. We should pay attention to the screen, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just sitting here singing horribly to a really good song. I like that group, though.
What's that group called?
Lawrence.
Oh, I do. I like them too. They're brother sister. That's weird.
Lawrence.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't them. That weird thing.
No, that thing wasn't them. That was some
Okay.
very British stuff. That could have been from the 80s.
Yeah.
Or the late 70s.
Yeah.
Shit, since we're here, we might as well do a podcast. You want to do a podcast?
Why not?
Let's do a podcast.
Unidentical.
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 Here we go, kids.
Yay!
I'm not doing that anymore because it's violent. I just did it.
And you pointed at your brother, too.
Yeah, I know.
Weirdo.
Try not to be violent anymore. Let's try it again. Ready?
Yeah. That was good. I like that.
What a morning, huh, Dave?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
So we were scheduled to record here today at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I scheduled it.
Yes, you did.
So I woke up this morning at 10:30. 10:30 in the freaking morning. And I'm stretching and feeling good. And I look out the front window of my suburban home. And I see is that my brother's truck?
Yeah, I was just sitting out there waiting.
I was like, and then I go, Elaine, what day is it? She's like, it's Wednesday. I was like, son of a bitch. And I was like, I gotta go. I got 11 o'clock. It's 10:32 is exactly what I remember the time. And
Wow.
so
What made you sleep
I
in?
took a horse bath. And what?
You took a horse bath.
That's
a PTA
That's a thing, right?
Oh yeah, you just put
or a
you just-
PTA shower?
Yep,
Pits, tits, and ass.
tits and ass, baby. And
I never
luckily-
heard that one, though.
luckily, I have luxurious hair, so
Looks good.
you know,
So you're saying your hair is deceptively dirty?
hair is so dirty.
Yeah. Is it?
Yo, my hair's got yesterday's pomade in it. I got yesterday's pomade, and then I have bags under my eyes because I didn't have my morning coffee. I didn't have my morning shit.
why
I'm
were
supposed
you
to have a
sleeping
morning
so much?
shit and a morning coffee.
Why were you sleeping in so hard? What did you do last night?
I did stand up comedy,
Oh, cool.
but it was a block from my house.
Oh, that's nice.
So I walked, and but I had a dramatic day. So I I had a drink last night.
Oh, yeah.
A drink.
Why'd you have a dramatic? Do you want to unpack that?
Yeah.
Or we're just talking about
My
You seem a little
sons,
hesitant about it. What's up?
my sons got into a little scuffle.
With each other?
Not good. It isn't good if those two boys fight. It's not good because I'm driving home the night before, and I call and I have a routine where I call my wife and I to let her know I'm on my way home. Hey, honey, I'm on my way home. And she's like, fine, okay. You know how girls don't like to hide how they're actually feeling, but they pretend they're hiding it.
Mm.
You know, girls are like, no, I'm fucking fine. Sorry, my wife doesn't talk like that. I go, hey, everything okay? And every time I ask her if everything's okay, when I know it's not, she always goes, yeah, it's fine. Let's just talk about it when you get home. Okay, women, don't say that to men because the entire drive home now, we're like, what did I do?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You rehearse arguing in the
just-
mirror.
Look in the mirror. Shut up, bitch. It's your fault.
You listen.
Well, it's
what I
it's
should've
either
said.
that or you're thinking, okay, I know what I did, so who can I blame? You know,
Right.
How do I get out of
But
this?
and the thing is, these days I'm such a good boy that I'm like, it ain't me.
And in some of the worst
So-
cases, you go, I did all these things. Which one is it?
Yeah, that was me about 10 years ago. Oh shit, what did she find out now? But she goes, the kids, James and John got in a fight, and I was like, yeah, and I've seen them argue. I'm like, oh, sorry about it. And she's like, no, it's not good. I go, wait a minute, do you mean a physical fight? She says, yeah. Like what? You gotta understand, these are two grown men, both very well trained in fighting.
How old?
Yeah.
61 and 29 and 34.
Oh, grown men.
Like trained.
Both.
Yeah.
One is a black belt in stand-up, like striking arts, and also very experienced in grappling. And then the other one did training striking arts from the age of 3 as well. And now he's currently doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm like, what kind of fight was that?
Well, wait a minute. I guess my first question would have been to my wife. Well, did you get it on video?
Right. Yeah.
I know she wasn't home either. But then I get home and Jonathan had an attitude, and I don't blame him. He's just after the pandemic they moved home.
Yeah.
After the pandemic they moved home, and then shit was actually no during the pandemic they moved home.
Yeah.
It's because Jonathan had like 4 roommates, and he's like, fuck this shit. And then he was outgrowing the whole roommate thing. And James, he had to move back home from across the country because his business got affected by it as well, which is fine. They're at the house, and it's fine. But when you got 4 adults in a house, there's some tension.
Yeah.
And I guess Jonathan came home with an attitude, and James tried to talk to him about it, and it got physical.
They break anything?
No, that's what's crazy. And it happened in the house. I was like, oh no, it's going to be bad. But James was really good about not striking him. He just
crouching tigered on the up on the armoire.
Yeah.
Boom, and it's on the table.
Right. On the leaf of one of the palm fronds.
Yeah.
But
are your sons bigger than you? Like taller?
both of them are. And they're both tougher than me. And they're both stronger than me.
Mm.
They're big, tough dudes.
And James is, when it comes to like fighting, striking, that boy doesn't miss. So I'm so happy he didn't throw any balls.
Right. Yeah.
Throwing dogs. What did we used to say?
Yeah, that.
And so anyways, so last night when I went to my show, the woman who owns the venue, she likes me, and she makes arguably one of the best old fashions that I've ever had. 1 second. Didn't do my morning nose blow either. So I did the gig last night, and I was on late because I was one of the closers because, profesh. And I had a drink, and I don't do that a lot these days. So it affected me.
Right.
In the whereas I literally woke up at 10:30 with a headache. I'm like, oh, this is why I don't drink anymore.
Why did you drink? It just
wanted to
in part of the thing.
I wanted to numb myself.
Stop it.
It makes you uncomfortable.
He does that when he knows when since we were young. He fake cries, and it makes me really uncomfortable.
Oh, Dave, can we please just talk about it?
Yeah,
the shaky voice at the
I
end
hate
is my
it so
favorite.
much.
If you're my brother, man. You're my brother.
It's awful. I hate it so much.
But then
Beck and I had a date the other night, and she did the same thing. She doesn't really drink alcohol much, and she had a drink, and she was feeling it. The one,
and we all know women can't hold their alcohol, right, guys? He-Man Woman Haters Club.
All right.
So yeah, that's why I had a drink. But got up late. But look, we made it. We're here. We're here for you guys. We're here for you, Solo Man.
Made it.
Because I know for a fact this is the highlight of Solomon's week.
Yep. Yeah, he can't wait for us.
Don't do that. He goes.
Wait till you see the lineup of the rest of the podcast for today.
Uh-oh.
Just the names will sort of.
Can we talk?
So we're the low.
We're
the low guys, huh? We're the low on the totem pole, huh?
We're unidentical, baby.
We're the bottom rung at Podcast Place. But guess what? Even the bottom rung at Podcast Place is amazing.
Yeah. So when this episode is out, guys, it's going to be smack dab in the middle of Netflix is a Joke Festival in Los Angeles.
All right.
California. And a lot of people are asking me, what are you doing for the Netflix festival? And I'm not doing a whole lot because I'm not going to be here for a lot of it. But I am doing one show. You told me to get this information before, and I forgot to do it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to look right now. I am doing May 12th. I will be in the lab at the Hollywood Improv with my buddy Brent Morin. The show is called Brent Morin, The Lab. Brent Morin, it's just Brent Morin. He's running his newest hour, and I'm going to be on the show as well, doing about a half hour probably.
Cool.
So that's the one show that I am going to be involved in for Netflix is a Joke. I might book a few more at the Comedy Store. Who knows? Because one of the things that a lot of people...
Can I get in? Can I get a seat?
Dude. Let me tell you what my opinion on this Netflix is a Joke festival thing. All of the clubs, they're just running their regular shows, and Netflix is a Joke is just slapping their name on it as a show for the festival because it's during that week. And there's a chance I might hop on a couple of those.
Wait, what day are you going to be on?
May 12th. May 12th,
that's
Hollywood
Improv
Improv.
Lab.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
lab at
okay.
the Improv
All right.
for the Netflix is a Joke Festival with my buddy Brent Morin, who I miss so freaking much. He's been spending a lot of time home in Connecticut, and he's coming back to LA for that gig,
Sweet.
and I'll be on it.
Yay.
But other than that, up on the day that we're taping today is the 1st.
May 1st.
May 1st. I'm going to be in Laughlin, Nevada, the 2nd through the 5th. They're doing a Cinco de Mayo comedy festival in Nevada. And I'm kind of part of that one. And the reason I did that one is because it pays more. This is what I do for a living, guys. But so for a chunk of the festival, I'm going to be out of state. I'm going to be in Nevada, in Laughlin. That's going to be an interesting week because I'm driving tomorrow. I'm driving to Laughlin. 4-hour drive.
Okay.
To Laughlin. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays shows. However, on Friday, after our Friday shows in Laughlin, we're driving 2 hours into Las Vegas because all those comics that are doing that show, we're all going to do the Dirty at 12:30
Oh, right. Yeah.
at
That's a fun
South Point Casino in Vegas. Then I'm driving back to Laughlin for the remainder of the shows. And then when everybody goes home, I'm driving back to Vegas on Monday because I'm doing a show on Monday called Hidarius with his name's Darius McCreary. If you guys are familiar with the
Oh, it's a play on the word hilarious.
yeah, and he's doing these great comedy shows. I'm gonna do a spot on that with him. If you're not familiar with him, he is Eddie Winslow from Family Matters.
That's
You
right.
remember Family Matters.
Yep.
He's Eddie Winslow on that show, and then he's also been in a bunch of movies and other TV shows and stuff.
Fun.
But yeah, I'm doing a show with him Monday the 6th in Las Vegas. So
Well, what's confusing me is I'm looking up this Netflix is a joke here,
Mhm.
and
it could be confusing.
it's saying like it's starting today.
Yeah, ish.
Okay, so today's 7:30, and then it
Long
just goes through 7:30.
What does it say, Long Beach?
Tomorrow
Top
at the
one.
top. That was just local events,
And they're calling that. See, that's what I mean.
and so that's why
Where does
that's
it
what's
say the top? Where does it say Long Beach?
On the top.
right here.
Long Beach, California. I guess it's
Oh,
It's showing the local events. So
yeah. Hollywood Bowl is going to be
Right.
There's going to be some big names. at the
LA
Hollywood
Theater. So that says tomorrow, right? Today,
Yeah.
tomorrow. This says tomorrow, and then you keep going all the way down,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah. And a bunch of shows that I've already done are
May
involving
4th.
themselves in the festival. Like I know that Chocolate Sundays I think they're slapping the name on that as well. But yeah,
So does that mean it'll be shown on Netflix?
No.
Oh,
completely different thing. This is I
So
don't
it's
know if
just
they're
like
gonna do
Netflix is
I'm
sponsoring
not sure
comedy.
if any of these things are going to go live or anything like that, but it's a Netflix festival. They had one in Canada for decades called Just for Laughs Montreal, and that was an amazing festival. And they're no man,
oh wow.
it's gone.
I didn't know that.
It's a no longer because they don't need it because the meaning of the festival was for industry, television, bookers, agents, casting directors and such
Mhm.
to see the new talent, to see comedians. And so they would all fly into the festival and it was a week long and it was a party and the shows were fire. I did arguably the last good one where it was that kind of a thing. And this was the kind of festival in Montreal where people were leaving with TV deals. So what you do is you do these shows and all these industry come and then you get these meetings. Like when I did it, I had such a good festival that I got meetings with every major network. You have to understand this time was 2013 and social media was just barely becoming a thing.
Right.
It was Facebook and MySpace and that's it. But it wasn't like that's where your career lives, how it is now.
Mhm.
So what was happening is, and back then people unless you had a special, unless you had a special or a late night appearance, your shit wasn't on the screen anywhere.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So people had to go find you and see you. So the year I did it, I mean, ABC and CBS didn't even want to wait till we got back to LA. They set meetings for the next morning in the lobby of the hotel that I was staying in. It was like that.
This is cool because I've always wondered about these comedy festivals. What are they for?
That's what they're for. That's what they were for.
Yeah.
And then it became with the social media, culture.
Mm.
If you think about what social media is, all social media is look at me, look at me, look at me.
Okay.
People, I mean, if you watch old footage of like MTV spring break and this and that, and people taking pictures. A lot of times people aren't smiling in the pictures, or they're just not really posing in any way at all.
Right.
Because people just weren't taking pictures of themselves back then.
And there was that, what did you call it? The post-approval. That didn't exist.
None of that existed. You know, you were just having a good time. And so with the whole look at me culture that's happening now is people just started posting that they were at the festival. Like, look at me, I'm at this festival. You know,
and then that's what it's about. It's about the things I do in my life.
Right.
Not this.
Exactly. And then the layman that's not involved in it like yourself, you're like, what's the point of that? What are they doing there?
It goes back to that.
Are they just going to a big party?
Right.
You know?
And it's also funny because it makes me think of that bit you do where you're like, I've never seen Paris. Get your head out of the way.
Yeah, get your head out of the way. But back when I did it, it was still a big deal. It was the way you got seen. It
I
was
remember
like
when
the
you got
way
it,
you got.
I remember when you got it, you were so pumped.
Oh my
man.
God.
You were,
And I got it in a different way because the way you get it, or back then, the way it happened back then was you got selected and you did a showcase. You had to audition for it. You couldn't just, there's tons of festivals now that you could just sign up for and go to.
right.
You know? But this one you had to be submitted. You had to audition. First of all, you had to be submitted just to get the audition. Getting the audition was almost next to impossible. So when you got an audition for this thing, and I'm sorry, let me rewind a little bit. That part of the festival was called New Faces.
Right.
I can't remember if it was called Fresh Faces or New Faces.
No,
but
I remember it was new.
Faces.
Yeah.
Because a lot of comedy shows do Fresh Face stuff. But New Faces, Montreal New Faces, and you would audition. And if you're sometimes I think that you had to audition, like you would get to the next audition.
Wow.
Yeah, you got a second audition. And if that one goes well, boom, you're part of New Faces. And the thing about that, and the big deal about it back then, which doesn't exist anymore, is when you got New Faces, you would get written up in like Variety magazine as top 10 new comics to watch and all this
That's right.
exciting stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Which was, there's good and bad because it was back then, the industry, it was up to them how well you did. You know what I mean? Whereas now with the positive side of social media, now we could just do it all ourselves and put ourselves out there.
Yeah,
Right.
you take more control of
Take
your
way
career
more
and how
control.
your brand, more
Yes.
importantly.
So Netflix is Netflix Comedy Festival, just for Laughs Montreal. That's what it was. But I didn't go as a new face.
Real quick, what year was this? Just kind of
2013 is
All
when I went. So they're like,
things were quite different back then.
and a lot of the bookers, because here's the thing, I hate talking this way sometimes because it sounds like I'm bragging, but I did very well early on, to the point where I had a manager say, stop telling people you've only been doing this for 5 years. Tell them you've been doing it longer. No, I'm sorry. I had only been doing it for 2 years, and then my manager said, tell people you've been doing this for 5 years.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I was like, but I haven't been. But they're like, but you look like you have been. I mean, if you remember, even Dad, when he saw me do stand-up, he was like, you looked seasoned.
Yeah.
You don't look
Yeah.
like a new guy. It was something that I picked up really easy. So they wouldn't put me on New Faces because the bookers of New Faces already knew who I was. And they're like, we just don't consider him a new face. And you have to remember at the time, I was 40.
Right.
A lot of the comics on New Faces they're these young 20-somethings, sometimes even younger.
Yeah.
So that
They're
we don't
literally
consider,
new faces.
So they're telling my manager, they're like, we don't consider him a new face. We got to figure something else out.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay. So then I get a phone call. He says, yo, we're flying you out. They're going to take care of everything. I go, what do you mean? Because fresh faces or new faces, they had to get themselves there. Like
Okay.
the festival didn't pay for them.
Oh, you mean people who got that show?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I
Okay.
don't think
Okay.
they got paid for the spots
All
either.
right.
And they had to stay in a separate hotel than the actual, everybody that was like part of the festival.
Okay.
Because if you like, for example, Netflix's Joke Fest is happening now. There's the big shows, Mulvaney, not Mulvaney, Mulaney.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mulaney, you got, Rife, you got Sebastian, you got Burr, you got the big guys that are doing the big shows. And Shane
Right.
Gillis, man, we haven't met in person. We met once years ago in New York, but dude, huge fan. I think you're fucking amazing. And I love what you're doing for comedy right now. It's amazing. But, so that they say they had that at Just for Laughs as well in Montreal, and they called those galas.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Those are the big shows, and I almost got a gala once because I was in Montreal, and I'm just doing. Here's how it worked for me. They paid me. They flew me out. They put me up in the main hotel where the big guys were, Like I was in a fresh face, which was awesome. And they put me on, I performed on these shows. There was one called Best of the Fest. I was on it.
Nice.
Talk of the Fest. I was on it.
Chest of the Fest.
The BET Comic View. I was on it.
Cool.
Me and Mark Maron did a show together. It was great. And the
You
crazy
guys did the rest of the fest. Nice.
Best of the Fest, Rest of the Fest, Chest of the Fest, Fest of the Fest, Test of the Fest, Incest of the Fest.
Hey, whoa.
And each one of the shows that I did, I got paid. And then I got put on this show that Brent was on as one of the, it was like this, and they go, we got you a spot on the show and it's the closing spot. But you're not technically part of the show, but they're going to pay you to perform.
Nice.
And who do you think had the best set on the fucking show? May. It's gonna be May.
Yeah.
And so when I got home, well, when I was still there, ABC, CBS wanted to meet. And when I got home, my manager calls me up and he's like, dude, you killed it out there. You had an incredible festival, man. We got meetings lined up with TBS, CBS, NBC. We had meetings with all these basic cables and blah, blah. And I took all the meetings and the meetings were great and they loved me and blah, blah, blah. And then silence.
Wow.
Nothing. You have to understand, and this was the same year that I did Comic View on BET, that I did The Tonight Show, that I got my name on the wall at the Comedy Store. This was a huge year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how it was. But anyways, it was like a big deal that way. Then social media happened, and they didn't have to fly out to Canada to see anybody.
Yeah.
They don't have to fly anywhere to see anyone.
Mm-mm.
They could just go on your TikTok. And also, that's another thing, the things that matter more now.
Mm-hmm.
The things that matter are now, I say this before, I've said it so many times, funny is literally the last box checked.
Right.
What's your sexual orientation? What do you identify as? How many followers do you have? How many likes do you have? How many accounts has your account reached? How many, you know what I'm saying? How many views does your video have?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, those are dollar signs.
They're assessing your advertising value.
Yeah. They're assessing your advertising value. They're assessing, it's a dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then with, after 2013 up until about now, the whole diversity thing was a big deal.
Okay. So
I literally got this phone call from my manager, a huge manager at a very reputable management production company. No one's interested in a straight white guy right now.
you said those words to you.
Those exact words.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget having that said to me. And I was with Adam Hunter. We were sitting at the bar at the Haha. And you know Adam Hunter, good looking, straight white dude.
Great one-liner guy.
Good one-liner guy.
Man, so fun.
We're sitting at the bar and I'm like, man, I just got told that. And he goes, what? And he pulls his phone out and he slides it over and shows me an email that said the exact same thing word for word that somebody sent him.
Yeah. I had another comedian say the same thing coming in here.
Another thing I ask you about this whole.
But now what's happening is people are wanting funny again because
Right.
and there's things that are happening.
My question was, how was all these things that you're talking about with the social media and all those changes? What are these festivals like now?
Well, now they're just showcase. There's just like festivals or money grabs. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I don't really, honestly, I don't know. I know that Netflix is a joke festival. Their version of New Faces is called Introducing.
Okay.
So any of the shows that you see that says Netflix is a joke, introducing comic, those are the shows that the industry is going to go to. Those are the shows that the head of comedy at Netflix will go to. Those are the guys that possible they're going to be seen and get a special.
Gotcha.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Because, they're the ones that they're focusing on.
Okay.
Because there's just a bunch of other shows that like, I'm doing a Netflix as a joke show. I'm running my hour at the Chuckle Jungle and on down in da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like,
Let's think of comedy club names.
yeah. And real quick, but like, and then like, if you're doing a show at, let's say, there's a Netflix as a joke there's a show happening at some venue in Inglewood that they've slapped the Netflix as a joke label on, and no one's going to that, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyways, that's what's going on. What's going on.
Back to the festival thing, though. Are there other ones? Are there
There's so many, man.
Are there still some that people want to be a part of? I understand people get excited about this one because of the Netflix name.
Yeah, and also it's in Los Angeles, which is kind of nuts to me because
Really?
if you're trying to sell tickets, LA's in my opinion, is kind of a hard market because people in LA are used to seeing these people. They can go to the Comedy Store every week and see the biggest names in comedy. They can go to the Improv, the Laugh Factory, and see the biggest names in comedy.
Yeah.
Anytime they fucking want. Especially during the week. Because during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday shows, all the biggest names are in LA because they live here now.
Right.
But there's, for a while, I don't know if they're around anymore. There was Slow Comedy Festival, San Luis Obispo. There was
I remember people talking about that one.
Big Sky Comedy Festival.
That one too, I remember.
There's Denver, there's Nashville, there's all kinds of festivals. The show that I'm doing in Laughlin, they're calling it the Cinco de Mayo Comedy Festival.
All right.
I don't know what makes it a festival, but it's just the internet has changed. Not the internet, but social media has made it so much more accessible that you don't really need to go to a festival. Like, I'm kind of shocked that they did the Netflix one this year again, because I could be wrong, but I heard that they lost a ton of money.
I didn't realize this was
doing
not the first one.
Well,
I don't pay
First one
attention.
was last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I wasn't on that one either.
Oh.
And it's crazy. You got to understand, a lot of this business is relationships. Like, the guy that books the festival I know him, we're personal friends, and he didn't book me on shit. He booked his friends.
Right.
But that's how it is. You put your homies up, I guess. But
Do you feel like your comedy career still has an upward trajectory then?
yes.
Okay.
Especially right now. Especially right freaking now.
Okay.
Because of guys like Shane Gillis.
Okay.
Because Shane Gillis got canceled.
He did.
White straight guy. Tony Hinchcliffe got canceled. White straight guy. Chris D'Elia got canceled. White straight guy. Those guys are fucking killing it right now. Tony Hinchcliffe's show, if you've never seen it or heard of it, which you definitely have, Kill Tony. It's a live podcast. It's fucking hilarious. He has celebrity comic panel guests.
Yeah.
And it's literally a live open mic. They get these new comics that go up and do a minute or two.
Oh, I dig it.
And they criticize the shit out of
Watched
them.
it. It's great. We've been
This
to them
show-
too live as well.
This show's going to be at the fucking Forum.
Excellent.
At the Forum. I think he's doing MSG. I think he's doing Madison Square Garden. Like, these guys are huge.
Right.
It was the best thing that ever happened to his career, I heard him say on a podcast. And then you got, Chris D'Elia, who's actually an amazing comic, but he's my best friend in stand-up. Me and D'Elia started together, got canceled. We don't need to talk about how and why, because none of it was true, and it all got proven to be untrue. But he's now fucking killing it, because when you are undeniably amazing at your craft, the fans only give a shit about that. And he told me once, we're standing out front of the Laugh Factory leaning against the wall. He said, dude, I'm more famous now than before I got canceled. Guy drives a goddamn Ferrari. You know what I mean?
Then you got the guy you were mentioning.
Then Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis gets booked on Saturday Night Live. He gets hired as a cast member on SNL, and because of the woke generation and the woke police, somebody did a deep dive on the internet. Here we fucking go. Found a podcast where he was doing an Asian impersonation and thought it was too racist, and then it made it into mainstream, and he got fired. He got fired by Lorne Michaels.
He was an actual cast member?
He was an actual cast member. So there you go. That's the end of your career, right? No. You know why it's not the end of his career, or Tony's, or Chris's, or any of the other people that this happened to? Because
This guy's great.
he's so funny, dude. Okay, arguably the best Trump impression ever, this guy. I fucking love him. Anyways, I like him so much. And I want to be buddies with him. But anyways, I fanboy on that guy so much. Because he's so funny. He's so funny. But he's also doing wonderful things for the art form, in my opinion. Because now he's back. He's back, and his numbers at Netflix as a joke festival are fucking insane. He's selling more tickets than anybody.
But he got fired from SNL.
Got fired from SNL.
And
then all these years later, he gets booked to host it.
Yeah.
And from what I heard through the rumor mill is, not only did he get asked to host it, but Lorne Michaels made the call himself personally.
Was this the thing that came up in the news about him coming back and some apology or something like that?
He didn't apologize.
No, but it was just something like, was there an apology, or is the fact that he got let back an apology? Or
An apology to him, or an apology to the people that
to him?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Guess
I
what?
heard something on the news.
What he did is he said, hey, fuckers, you got no fucking choice but to book me, because guess what? I'm the biggest goddamn name in comedy right now. I mean, he's up there with Rife. But let me tell you, Matt Rife is still asking people to buy tickets to his Hollywood Bowl show. Whereas Shane's shows at the Forum, at the Greek, at the Microsoft, at the Crypto, they're all sold out. You can't get tickets to these motherfuckers. And that's what I love about what he did.
Yeah.
He didn't whine and bitch and complain. What he did is he said, I'm just going to be undeniable. And he's exactly that. He's undeniable. And he's a white, straight guy. And he's just funny. No one cares about his sexual orientation. No one cares about his backstory. No one cares about his religion. No one cares what his pronouns are. No one cares what he identifies as. All they give a shit about is this guy talks and it makes me laugh. And I love that. And that's what comedy is, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like this guy is one of the biggest tools in bringing comedy back. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying white comedy. I'm not saying that at all. Don't think I'm saying that. I'm saying comedy.
Right.
Okay? My favorite comedians on the planet are not white, you know?
Yeah.
Some of my best friends aren't.
Some of my best friends are off color.
I did that for Solomon.
I know, I could tell. And I love Solomon. Oh, can I tell you something, Solomon? You have one of the best eye rolls in the business, dude.
Do I?
You really do.
Serious, it's so good.
It's always that slow burn.
I don't even notice.
Here they fucking go again. Do they want to have a podcast last? But that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. And to that point of what I just now said is this cancel culture is going bye-bye. It's going bye-bye.
Good.
It's going bye-bye. You know what? You're not going to cancel Shane Gillis for some off-color joke he said, I don't know how many fucking years ago.
Yeah.
That wasn't even bad. Because my brother and I
was
were
probably acceptable to say at the time, too. That's the thing people forget.
Well, also, let's take that significant bit. He was on a podcast and he was doing an Asian thing. And he was doing an Asian accent. And he made it. And that's the same thing that Tony Hinchcliffe got canceled for. This Asian comic went up in front of him at the Vulcan Theater and did all these hacky Asian jokes. Hacky fucking Asian jokes, referred to himself as these Asian slurs. And then the cameras turned on when Tony went on stage and he repeated what the guy said as a joke. He said, give it up for that dirty blah, 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 blah.
Because that's what he called himself.
Because that's what he called himself. Right? And then Tony gets canceled because he's a big racist.
Because
and that
they just had that one little clip.
Yeah. And then that asshole comic who, I don't care who you are, bro, come at me. You're a piece of shit. He aligned himself with the Asian media and went to the media and here's how you found out this shit was bullshit. Because Tony gets, his phone buzzes in the middle of the night after all this went down, right? And it says, it was an Asian TikTok, or I'm sorry, an Asian Twitter media thing. And it said, so-and-so comedian released a tweet this morning at 11 a.m. saying that Tony did this, and this, and that. And Tony went, what, 11 a.m.? He looks at his watch, he goes, it's only 4 a.m. So what those morons did is they
put it out
prematurely released it.
Wow.
Yeah, pieces of shit. So then that went away. And guess what? This comic that tried doing that, see, what he tried to do is he tried to cancel Tony Hinchcliffe to give himself a career.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
But guess what, buddy? You're not fucking good enough. You're not funny. And where are you now? You know, where are you now? And it's funny because of the Asian thing. Because then you think about it, my brother and I were talking on the way here. We were talking about The Office, TV show The Office, and season 2, episode 1.
Oh, yeah, the Dundees,
the Dundee Awards, and Michael Scott character, Carell's character, Michael Scott he would do characters, and he had this character
all off color, all inappropriate,
so racist, so inappropriate.
But that was the joke. And he did this character called Ping, where he had these glasses that had slant eyes and buck teeth, and he would talk like that. And I'm like, you could not make that show today. You could. He said in interviews, we can't make The Office the way we made it today. Even that scene, he's a horny, he's doing anything. He goes, oh, me so horny. And the camera zooms in on the background on this Asian couple, and they're just appalled. They're like, what is this guy doing?
But it was humor. It was humor. And yes, that character is doing a racially thing towards Asians. However, the joke's on him because that guy's the piece of shit for being that racist. That's the joke.
Right.
The joke is, God, this guy is unfucking believable and he has no self-awareness. That's the goddamn joke.
Right. And then the thing with Gillis was Asian. And then you think about SNL that fired him for the Asian thing.
Well, remember
They had a reoccurring sketch called The Samurai Chef.
That's right.
That John Belushi goes, and he's speaking gibberish the whole time, and he's chopping everything up with a samurai sword.
Yeah.
Remember the Colbert? I'm sorry, Dana Carvey show?
Dana Carvey show.
There was a sketch. The whole sketch was the Oscars, and it was all foreign actors and things accepting the awards doing these horrible accents. That was the sketch.
That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna say something. My brother and I, when we were kids, we lived in this apartment complex that was, today it would be called the Diverse Towers, because it was probably one of the most diverse places you've ever seen on the planet. In the middle of Long Beach, it was the only apartment complex at the time that allowed children.
Why it was so diverse.
Why it was so diverse? Because when Dave and I were kids, you were still allowed to reject families that had children.
You know how for rent signs say no pets?
Yeah.
They could say no kids.
Say no kids.
Wow.
That's not a thing anymore. But back then, that was one of the only places that allowed, lower income families, which we were, that had children. So our neighbor on one side of us was Asian. Our neighbor in front of us was Latino. Our neighbor next to us was Black. We had Filipino. It was just, and no one gave a shit. But we had this next door neighbor. Remember the Asian kid?
Yeah.
And every morning you heard chopping, chop, 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 chop. And the walls were fucking thin as shit. My dad was so mad. And the food was so terrible. Remember how bad it smelled?
It smelled awful.
My dad would go, it smells like they're cooking dog shit over there, right? So one day, the hardest I've ever laughed as a child, I did slant eyes to this kid. We would, in the neighborhood, you made fun of each other. We called it bagging.
Yeah.
We called it bagging on each other. You called it capping on each other, whatever it was. And we all did that. And I would go, oh, no. And he won. Do you remember what he did?
He kicked our ass.
I said something about fish fry or something, and then he does this. He opens his eyes really wide and yells, hamburger.
Yeah, and he goes, beep, boop, bop,
beep, boop, bop, hot dog. I'm like, you fucking won. He won.
It was great.
And no one got upset. I didn't go, this kid is a racist. And we stayed friends.
Yeah, dude.
We stayed friends until we moved out of the place. But, but I feel like that pendulum is swinging back because I think people are tired of it. I think people are tired of being lectured instead of jokes.
You also got to second guess every action you make.
Yeah. That's why Netflix puts Hannah Gatsby on a special. If you've ever watched Hannah Gatsby's special,
I don't know who that is.
Don't go in thinking it's a comedy special. It's a goddamn TED Talk, okay? And it's not funny, and it's woke as shit, and it's lecturing, and it's white male hating. It's crazy.
One of the funniest comedians that I've ever heard. I think her name is Angela Johnson. She does like that Vietnamese nail salon.
Yeah, and she's what is she? She's Latina, right?
I think
so.
so.
I'm so mad.
Jason, I'm going to tell you right now. Jason.
But that bit, it's crazy what happened. That video, she was a new comic. And that thing went fucking viral.
44 million views.
And she ended up becoming famous prematurely, in my opinion. She's beautiful too. She used to be a Raiderette. She was a Raiders cheerleader. But
well, I was just
I'll never forget
as an
watching
example what you're talking about, like the
accent.
Yeah, that's a Latino woman doing an Asian woman. No one got upset. If that was a white woman doing that, would they have gotten upset? I don't fucking know. Anyways, the thing is with that bit though, she was brand new when she did that recording. I mean, that's a show that we all did at the Ice House called Comedy Time.
I remember that. Yeah.
And they paid you $20 and gave you a t-shirt. And you got no fucking cut of any of the views. But it launched her career. However, I watched her first special and it was just crickets the entire special, man. So bad. And it was like giggles here and there. And it was just, and that's when that whole viral thing started where people want to just see the hit.
Oh, so you just saw the clip.
So at the end of her special, near the end, she goes, so I went to the nail salon the other day.
And the place erupted.
And the audience went fucking bananas. Like, this is what we came to see.
Yeah.
We're idiots. We need familiar shit. But it's just, so as far as this Netflix is a joke festival, I don't know how just doing a normal show will translate into getting on Netflix streaming.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I'm ignorant to that. But I'm just happy that guys like Shane Gillis are out here doing it, and John Mulaney. Oh God,
I think he's great.
he's so fucking amazing. He was at the store the other night and so the Comedy Store on Mondays is for a lot of people that are trying to get in to become store guys.
Gotcha.
There's this thing called potluck.
Oh, right.
And then the later portion of the show from 10 o'clock on when Fraser Smith is hosting, who you remember Fraser we had on the show here, that's the paid regulars version of their open mic. So we can go and show up and get on.
Oh, fun.
Right. But Mulaney and Kroll, John Mulaney and Nick Kroll show up on a Monday night when it's still the new guys trying to get in and go up. And it was awesome.
That's so cool, man.
It was awesome. And the audience was so happy. Why were they happy? Because these fuckers are actually funny.
Dude, Nick Kroll, to me, he's one of the funniest dudes.
Dude.
Like Kroll show
Yeah.
was amazing to me.
Oh, hello, Broadway.
But all
With
his
both
all
of them.
Kroll's character, like, dude, Armand, the pet plastic surgeon, was hilarious to me. And the two girls, Liz and Liz.
It's based off our names.
Dude, that guy is just so funny.
Yeah, he's so funny. But him and Mulaney have that show. Oh, hello, Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they talk, and when they were talking about cocaine, they're like cocaine.
Yeah. Remember they did Too Much Tuna.
Too much tuna.
Yeah.
Man, I can't. They're the kind of funny that you can't repeat the joke and do it any justice at all.
Nope.
It's just got to be out of their mouths because they're fucking great.
Right.
Genius. It's genius. It's fucking genius. But yeah. So yep, Netflix is a joke is in town, and sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's a joke, huh?
Sometimes it's a joke, in my opinion. But also, there's a Netflix billboard on Sunset that looks like an old marquee, and I think that whoever's writing whatever they're putting on that billboard needs to be fired immediately. It's so just the corniest, dumbest shit that makes no sense sometimes, unless it's just too over my intelligence level or something. But I'm like, huh? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Are you looking for it?
I was just typing it in just to see if it would show, but yeah, it sounds like it changes things, right? Is that what you're saying?
It changes every week or every day or something. That one.
Okay.
Don't give up on your dreams. We started with
DVD.
Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
Streamberry. What is that? I don't know what it is.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I see that a few of those Netflix is a joke shows are going to be at that Kookaburra Lounge.
Yeah,
Kookaburra Lounge. I
got a bone to pick with her,
have a soft spot for that because I designed their
and
stuff.
I have a bone to pick with her because of that.
Why?
My brother designed. Hey, Katie Corzola. My brother designed your logo. I texted her yesterday. Hey, how can I get booked at your club? No fucking response.
Wow.
No response.
Maybe she didn't really like the logo.
She's using it.
Just kidding.
So now I'm gonna have to bogart you, girl. I have to just roll up. But yeah, she's doing some Netflix as a joke shows at her spot, and
That's cool.
no, I'm totally kidding, Katie. You know I love you, and I know you're a busy girl. But I do want to come check out the club.
I want to see it. I saw like the
Beautiful.
preliminary where she was kind of showing me how it was going to be laid out. Man, cool as heck. Man.
It's beautiful, and it's designed for comedians almost.
Rad.
Like there's a private bar just for the comics.
That's the green room. That's the
it's a
comedian's
green room.
I think.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna go check it out for sure, definitely. But
Can't wait.
what does it say? Jack Snyder is snidering
Jack
more than ever.
Oh, I didn't know you could see that.
I'm still thinking about Baby Reindeer. Oh
Dude, baby
Yeah.
reindeer.
shit. Okay, I binged that show.
You know that I didn't know it was a true story. when I
Yo.
watched it?
Oh, Gillian Anderson. Yes. Hell yes.
Hell yes, hell yes.
But yeah, I didn't know that was a true.
I'm sorry, I can't Sex in the City. Right? What did that one say? I can't Sex in the City is actually. I'm sorry, I can't. Sex in the City is actually on Netflix. So dumb. But anyways, Baby Reindeer. If you haven't seen it, watch
Speaking of
it.
comedians,
It's about a British comic who gets a stalker
among a bunch of other shit.
and it's
When I found out that was true,
insane,
and it's all true.
and it's a true story. And the guy playing
He directed it, and he's playing himself.
that's who it actually happened to.
Yeah.
Baby Reindeer. Check it out. Comics got to watch it because
What's his name? Gad.
you in comedy, you guys know other comedians. You get certain stalkery type characters in your life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that become like staples at your shows. Like they're at every show.
Have you had a stalker
I wouldn't call them stalkers, but yes,
where they know all your bits and all your
they know
jokes?
all my bits. They show up at all the shows.
Did they say, do this one?
They feel like they get a little too close to you that they could talk to you, like they can lecture you, and it's pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
But then there are some people that, but that only happens for me here in Los Angeles because this is where I do most of my stand up on.
Right.
You know, and I'm one of those comics that when I'm not on the road, I don't take a break. I want to get on stage every single night. You know, like last night I did it at that show last night, which is a block from my house at a local sports bar. I just wanted to get on stage and talk on a microphone. Yeah. I'm a crazy person.
And that was neat. It was seeing him go through that. Just those little
going
hole in the walls. That
and people not listening.
And then it also
sports bars.
The kind of hills and valleys of his career too. It was interesting.
The one scene where he was at like a sports bar where no one was paying attention.
Yeah.
Goddamn, the game was on, you know?
What, look that up. What's his name? The star of Baby Rain, Gad? I think that's his last name. It's also a name of a great drummer.
But
the guy he played was called Donnie Dunn.
Richard Gadd.
Richard Gadd, yeah.
You could literally YouTube real sets from him and hear this.
You could hear her laughing.
You could hear the woman because she had this loud maniacal laugh, and you could hear it like for real. Whew, I just got the chili beans. Got the chili beans real good. I got the jelly beans so bad right now.
So yeah, go get in a festival. Get a little popular and get Baby Riendeer.
Here's the thing. My advice wouldn't be get in a festival. My advice would be get funny, get good, get good at what you do. Get good at what you do, man. Get undeniable. Bill Burr said it best. There's a clip on YouTube. You can see Bill Burr's being interviewed, and this woman goes, "Do you think it's true that women aren't funny?" And he goes, "Fucking grow up." He goes in on her. He goes, "Shut up. Give it a break. Just be funny. Hey, are you crushing consistently so hard that the guy that follows you bombs? Then we'll talk. Write your own material. Like it's just be funny, be undeniable."
Yeah.
Oh, I love this shit.
I bet I could search AI joke writing or something like that.
Yeah.
And it'll come up.
Oh, you could AI, dude. You could AI a whole special.
Mm-hmm.
Will Sasso did it on his podcast. There's literally an AI of Tom Brady, quarterback, doing stand-up, doing a comedy special.
Really? And are the jokes funny?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Oh.
But it's AI is a trip, dude.
Yeah, it's scary.
AI is a trip. AI is a trip, and every once in a while you can catch it. Like there are people that are posting videos instead of just narrating themselves or having AI do it, and it sounds pretty real. And it's a guy going, and then let's say this thing happened on Magnolia Street, but he'll go on Magnolia Avenue. That's when you'll catch it. Like, oh, AI doesn't know how to say Magnolia.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So if you're in LA and you want to catch some comedy, Netflix's Joke Festival is in town. Go for it. I'm only going to be on one show. It'll be at the Hollywood Improv Lab on May 12th with my baby brother in comedy, Mr. Brent Morin. Go check that out. One of the things I forgot to do in the beginning of the show is, hey guys, please continue to rate and review at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever it is that you listen. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave us a review. It helps with the algorithms. It helps with the consistency. If you want to watch us, are obviously on YouTube. Go to YouTube, Unidentical Pod on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so when you know some new shit is coming at you. And of course, everything Unidentical Pod, go to unidenticalpod.com. That is unidenticalpod.com. If you want to send us any messages, go to unidenticalpod@gmail.com. And if you want a quality podcast, shoot your podcast here at Podcast Place here in Long Beach, California. That's podcastplace.com. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you later. Bye.
Unidentical.